The municipal issue our group focused on was the 2026 Olympic bid.
The heart of the issue is the money will be where the money will be coming from.
If you get elected, will you support the Olympics?
These Olympics on the money of the country that's hosting. So that's us. The whole country pays for it. So we pay for it as Calgarians, Albertans pay for it, Canadians pay for it. So when we're having a look at, do we wish to have another awesome party, as much as it will be an awesome party, regardless of where it is on the planet, is it worth, I'm going to say better than $10 billion? Will I be able to look you in the eye in 2028 when you're all adults and say, yeah, that was totally worth it? Aren't you guys glad we spent all of that money on those games?
The municipal issue our group focused on was the construction of a major LRT line that goes from one end of the city to the other.
Do you think that spending $4.65 billion is a good idea?
We're taking a look at transit. The benefit to transit is that way more people can utilize transit for way less money than owning their own automobile. So like we talked about on the Southwest Ring Road, you've got a $5 billion project over there, and it's going to impact X amount of drivers. Exactly how many, I don't know. But the other interesting thing about the Ring Road is it's a provincial infrastructure project, basically to keep traffic from going through the city. It's going to divert it around. So back to the question about transit, one of the things that I see, I'm a born and raised Calgarian. I was around when the Red Line first came in, and that's the C train that goes from down south to past the university. That we, as Calgarians, we pushed back a lot when we saw that happening. There's a lot of people who thought, you know, we shouldn't spend any money, any large infrastructure money on transit projects. And as such, I don't know about you guys getting around, but how often can you get to where you need to be by bus? Not very frequently?
How efficient is the snow and ice removal in Calgary?
What is at the heart of the issue? People want all of their snow removed, but don't want to pay more taxes for it.
The big question that flows out of this issue is, do you think taxes should be raised to make snow removal quicker and more efficient, and why?
Definitely one of the things that we've struggled with for some time. When you take a look at the need for people to get around in their automobiles, that's when the snow removal interaction comes up the most. If I could show you all the pictures on my phone, I would show you scads of pictures of what the impacts are on automobiles going on roadways immediately after a snowfall, the types of, it's called traction agents. So when we take a look at the road network across the city, and we're talking about removing snow or putting down traction agent or putting down melt agent, why in our residential neighborhoods are we not looking at it from the other way, that how can we save some money by not going in with the plows, going in with the traction agent, going in with the
Drivers want to create a bike tax of $15 to cyclists that are buying a new bike. Some cyclists are protesting the idea. This has caused some problems. I have some questions. If some of the drivers also wanted to create a cycling license, and my question is, if cyclists are licensed, will cyclists under 16 be affected?
I personally do not agree with a licensing system for bicyclists. If you take a look at what's called mode choice, which is your ability to be able to choose how you're going to get around, whether you want to drive, whether you want to ride a bike, whether you want to take a bus, whether you want to walk. When you take a look at the cross-section of these things, one of the most dangerous interactions, and I mentioned the traffic thing, one of the most dangerous interactions is with an automobile. I like to call us soft users. When you're on a road and you interface with an automobile, if an automobile is doing 50 kilometers an hour, as a for instance, and I will get back to the bike lane question in a moment, if the vehicle is doing 50 kilometers an hour, there's an 85% chance that that person will be dead. At 30 kilometers an hour, on the other hand, there's a 5% chance that that person will be dead. So we see when we start to talk about our streets and where we live, that the danger involved with operating a motor vehicle is quite high.
Our group focused on the new Calgary Arena, and the heart of the issue is who will pay for it and how much it will cost.
So when we take a look at the positive impacts of putting in a new arena, that's where you start to engage your city a lot more. So, new arena will equal better opportunities for us to see some of the concerts that otherwise might not be coming right now because our Saddle Dome is getting older. There is a conversation that this new arena will give opportunities to smaller sport groups, but I don't know, to be honest, what percentage of these sport groups would actually get the opportunity to use the Saddle Dome of the people, or sorry, the new arena.
The municipal issue our group focused on was the controversy of public funding.
And the heart of the issue was that a lot of people are getting upset and angry with how much the art in Calgary is costing. And our question is, if you get elected, will you work with the Creative Calgary group?
We aren't doing enough, in my view, to promote art culture in Calgary. And when we take a look at some of the bigger cities of the world, where if you go out and travel and you go to what we call a cosmopolitan city that has great artworks and great architecture, it's because a culture exists there. And one thing that we've been lacking, and a lot of people when they compare Edmonton and Calgary, and as much as it makes me shudder, Edmonton is more cosmopolitan than Calgary. Part of the reason is there's more diversity in the economy and they support their arts better. If we are to take a look at Calgary moving forward and to say that we embrace art, that would be to say that we as Calgarians are wanting to see art, that we want to go and listen to live music, that we want to see new sculpture, that we want to see new paintings, and that we want to see it on a fairly regular basis. If any of you have been up to the airport and you notice there's a big crocodile on the top of one of the shops there, and he does this?
Yes.
Him doing that? I did that. The artist that I work with made the crocodile. There's another artist out of Canmore who got won a tender to make a set of gates for the new Lethbridge Cemetery. I put those things together for him. So this is where we as people, and you guys moving forward, start taking a look at where art exists and how to embrace that art and how to enjoy that art.
So the heart of this issue is using city resources to support them in ways such as aquatic wheelchairs.
Will you, if elected, support those with disabilities and how?
Our city was growing so rapidly and we had so many jobs available that basically all we did from a planning standpoint was put in houses so that we can get everybody to work. That left a lot of people with disabilities behind, but it also left a lot of seniors behind as well. I don't know how many of you have grandparents who live in the city. There's a struggle right now with people who own their own homes in trying to be mobile. Seniors are also part of the group of people who are lessening mobility. So when we take a look at the whole cross-section of the problem, we need to be making sure that when we're creating communities, that everyone can be the best person that they can be within their community.